Is this a day boat for Aussies and Kiwis? I'm serious with that. I'm testing so many day boats of equal or bigger size in the US and Europe now. And my question to you guys, Aussies and Kiwis, and perhaps other people around the world, are you looking at something like this Riviera 465 SUV as potentially primarily a day boat? And I'll try and explain where I'm coming to with that point. I think this has been so well designed for harsher climates. I think some of you who recognize that and done quite a bit of boating, and even though this is something with 3 cabins and 2 toilets and will accommodate a whole family very well for a week's holiday if you want, I think many of you are recognizing the design of a Riviera of this size in terms of the functionality point of view, and the weather protection also makes it the perfect day boat. So I'm posing the question. Jump in the comments and just talk to me about that. And the reason why this has come to me and I'm talking about it on the video is because quite a few of you have written to me wanting to compare this with day boats. So I'm like, what's going on there? I might as well talk about that in the next video. I found it quite fascinating, and I suspect the thought process with some of you might be, I'll spend the extra money now on something like this and keep the boat for a long time because it's going to suit me for now, and it's also going to suit me for the next stage. So you're kind of bridging that gap with one boat that does everything. Or maybe you're not. Just jump in the comments and let me know. Am I going off on a bit of a tangent there? So I'm Dan Jones. You're watching Dan's Boat Life. Welcome. G'day. We're in beautiful Gold Coast, Queensland, Australia this week. We are going for a detailed test drive on this boat, and we're going to be taking it out in the ocean, and I'm going to be demoing how you would run this thing by yourself. You absolutely can run this boat. If you've got a little bit of training, you can run this boat by yourself. So your guests do not have to be involved if they don't wish to be. So that's kind of where I was going with that. All right, let's just take you on the detailed tour. This is going to be a long one. I like to be long and detailed. Starting up here on the bow, I just want you to come and have a look here at the bow roller. I wasn't aware that this was designed into apparently all Rivieras, but I noticed it when the anchor came up backwards when we were anchoring today. It immediately righted itself and stowed perfectly, and it's actually been designed in such a manner with these rollers to put the right angle and the weight to cause the anchor to spin around if it comes up backwards. So you don't have to do the old reversing to straighten the anchor and sort it out yourself, as you probably see me doing in many videos. They've thought of that. Brilliant, fantastic. So it's just no nonsense practicality, which I really, really like. This particular hull has got a bit of a flare on it. You can see we're benefiting up here on the bow from that flare with extra usable space. We've got the dam just in here, so when the chain comes up dirty, we can still hose it out with boom. We've got fresh and raw water. There is our handle for the clutch, and we can also plug in the hoses, and we've got the operation for the windlass just here, but yes, we can do it from the helm as well. Over here is storage for a lot of your fenders. You will fit 4 fenders in there, and I know that because I just hung 3 fenders and there's the 4th just there right now. And up here on the bow, we've got this sun lounge. It does have a leading edge bolt rope which holds it in place, but it is flush with the deck, and then there's a cover that just goes over it. So you just have to remove the cover with about 3 zips, but it does have these super cool backrests. I'm just going to make sure I do it right. That's right, these ones. So you're probably all familiar with these now. Very luxurious, and we've got the stainless steel on either side, big drink holders, and we've got the opening hatches down into the VIP, and we've got an equal amount of space on starboard and port. I think what we'll do, we'll go down the port side. I'll just point out the windscreen, nice aggressive angles on these SUVs. I think you know, it's quite a handsome, it's a good looking thing. And if you're into styling, this is probably one of the best looking things in the range. And then you've got the opening sunroof, we've got the radar mast, VHF, that's all been blacked out. But the sunroof you can see is in white. You don't really notice that against the gunmetal grey from the side, but you'd have to be looking from a bridge to notice that. Coming down port side, we've got sliding windows. So they're not electric on this model, they just slide, nothing to go wrong. Midships cleats and lots of safe access because you can hold here and you've got a good amount of ability to rest your waist as you're making your way forward in a seaway, as I was today trying to catch the drone. I just slide my bum along here and it's not a problem. Okay, so I've got diesel in here, breathers, I've got some courtesy lights, another midships cleat just there, great stainless. Again, I felt quite safe and secure here when we were in a seaway, waist out, rocket launchers for fishing. And then here is your aft cleat, and look at the beautiful, come in and have a look at the stainless. Riv does all this themselves. Beautiful, nicely done fair lead. Really, really well finished. I like that. So being the SUV, you might have already seen the 4600 Sport Yacht Platinum on my channel. So it's similar in size, but this is a totally different vibe. So if you want to do some of your fishing, water sports, if you're maybe a bit more of an active person, or you just like these aft deck layouts. Are you gonna get the sun in your eyes there? Hopefully you can see me. That's the vibe we're going for on the SUV. So we have sun protection via this fixed bimini out to here. That gives us protection over the Barbie here. So you guys go over there, I don't want you to get sun in your eyes. But we've got a good Barbie station here, hot and cold water, the single cooker, but we've got drink holders. This is actually Corian just there, and storage underneath. I'll try not to open everything because this is actually an owned boat. So thank you to the owners for letting us use it. We got access to the top of the IPS drives through this hatch. We've got a big storage locker in the middle and access to the starboard drive through that hatch. A little bit more storage for lines in here. This is the ice maker just in here, and we've got the big top loading fridge that's quite deep. You'd probably get 2 cases worth of drinks in there. And shore power stows just in here on the starboard side. Boom, boom, and it's all neatly laid out. When it is connected, the cable comes out in a neat fashion. You see this on a lot of the Rivs. They've got proper little cleats, pop-up cleats for your fender lines. Boom, boom. And then on the aft swim platform, we can have our tender chocks here and here. These slats allow air to pass through when it's being lowered in the water, and this is a hydraulic platform, so yes, it does drop down, deploy the tender, and also a nice way to get in and out of the water. But you got these 2 doors, really super handy. So you have one on port and one on starboard, so if you do have your tender on the platform, it's just going to make it a little bit easier getting off the dock, because if you're, you want to go, depending if you're starboard or port finger, basically. So that makes life a little bit easier. And see this just here, you can actually lock it in the open position. So you don't have to have this door, you don't have to have it closed when you're mucking around at the dock. Make life a little bit easier, but I would recommend closing it when you go fast or out into the ocean, because when you come off the plane, your stern wave is going to catch up with you, and if you've got your fancy shoes sitting out here on the back deck, they might get wet, so you don't want to do that. So just make sure you close the door. That's just kind of logical. But there is a drain just here which will pick up a little bit of that water, but just don't rely on that. You should pay attention to closing the door when you're going out to sea. So welcome to the alfresco deck. So this is a little bit similar. Well, you've seen my video of the 585 SUV. So it's a smaller version of that vibe. So you kind of come up these stairs, you're on this beautiful teak. All the teak is sensibly placed on this boat because it's mostly protected from the sun. We haven't gone teak up on the bow. There isn't teak out on the swim platform. Obviously you can do that if you're in other climates, but for our climate, it's perfect to be practical. And now on the alfresco deck, just come in and enjoy this a little bit. We've got really good views out over the back. We have fly screens which drop down to allow air flowing through, and this is that clear plastic glass. I always forget the name of this stuff, but it creates quite a pleasant environment to enjoy. You've got the opening skylights just above, you've got a grab handle on the roof on the center line, you've also got these upright stainless poles here which serve as a nice place to hold on to in a seaway. So it's a safe environment, but it's a social place because we have this table here, which you probably noticed can reduce in size. We can put our drinks just there. This little stool can be moved around if you want to seat someone on this side and eat just here. And on this side, we've got a lovely little lounge, which is perfect for a nap out of the sun, but it will also, see these hinges here? It'll also double in size into a little bit of an outside day bed. So super cool. Now, underneath me, this hatch is access into the engine bay. We're going to do that later in the video because I suspect you want to see the interior, but that's the primary access. And then we can also, by having these two aft hatches open, vent the engine bay. If it's a little bit hot and you want to go down there and do something, you might as well just crack them all open, vent it for a little bit, and then you go and do your thing. So come on inside. So basically, we've got the sliding door, stainless steel, super strong, but we also have the ability to open up the galley via these two handles. You unlock them and it's just a strong gas strut. I always like to control them because you never know how strong these things are. That's not going anywhere. So now look how nice this is. Got little plastic flowers. They'll probably give you some plastic flowers if you request. But it's now we've opened up this whole space. So we've got the inside dining, we've got the alfresco, we've got the sun lounging up on the bow, and we've got action station out at the back of the boat where you can deploy your toys, you can go fishing. You know, you're not going to do super serious fishing, you're not going to be backing up on fish with a swim platform like this, but you can do what most people want to do, and I think that's the concept with this SUV. It bridges a lot of water sports activities, but it's not trying to be the perfectionist at one, okay? And it's a very, very, as all Rivieras are, to be fair, it's a very, very comfortable vessel out in the ocean. You really can sit at the helm for a long amount of time and be comfortable. But let's just focus on this galley before we get there. So, U-shaped galley. We've got Corian bench top. We've got stainless steel sink here. We've got, does that pull out? No, don't think it does. Okay, that does it? Oh, it does. Oh yeah, cool, awesome. So that pulls out, and then you've got two burner. That's going to be off the Jenny. So that's your hot plate there. This is your bin just here. We've got, I'd say this is a fridge. Oh no, sorry. It's a dishwasher. Awesome, super handy. This one was pantry. This one is the oven. And then obviously this is a fridge, but one might be a freezer. Yeah, that's a freezer on that side. And this is a decent sized fridge actually. So that's pretty cool. So we've got the outside refrigeration, which was huge. We've got the ice maker, and then we've got the inside refrigeration. So you can cater for quite a amount of time. You can probably do your pots and pans as they have in here. I'm not going to open everything else, but you've got probably cleaning storage and all your cutlery just up here. A couple of deeper drawers here and here. And then really, this is your coffee station just over here. So we've got another fridge, boom, boom, drawer, and then a nice amount of Corian, which complements this side, same, perfect for the coffee, tea, and then you could store all your coffee thingamajiggies, your capsules, those things up in here, and your fancy coffee cups. So that all kind of works. And then from here, straight into the saloon. So typical Riviera, the varnish work is fantastic. The grain is beautiful, and they've even matched it up. I see the grain just here, so that's a lot of attention to detail. Not all boats do that when you look in close. So somebody cares about what they've been doing in this factory. So how many people? Probably, everyone always laughs when I overestimate this. So I'm going to say 6. Can we say 6? Yeah, it's kind of fair. 6 is all right. You probably couldn't get someone on that side too easily though, because we are one step up. So I think you really want to factor in everyone in this seat, and depending on how big they are, if it's the Maori boys, it's probably 4, and if it's people my size, 6 people can get in here pretty snugly and enjoy themselves. This is also a good solid table, so you can hold on to this if the boat's rolling around. We've got drop down blinds all the way around, and just look at the design of the window, because where you are right now is actually the position of the helm. So if you're trying to look around, as we were today, in a busy waterway to see who's around you, because the tide's running and you don't want to hook it into a turn and then essentially hit someone or have someone run up your butt, you can see, which is great. And even those corner pieces out the back of the boat where they've just done some styling, you can actually still see out. So I don't see it as a dangerous design. There's no loss of visibility in that respect. So underneath the helm, we've got a couple more drawers, good for safety gear, and typical Riviera, the helm station is fantastic. So we're not doing electric seats like you've probably seen me on some of the other bigger rivs. These ones are manually operated. So this is actually all the way back. So I'm 5'7", my feet can't touch, and I've got oodles and oodles of space. So once again, really tall, large people are going to be totally happy on one of these boats. And then if I put the seat all the way forward, now I can touch, so even I'm happy. So that's great. It really is great. I don't, and you can investigate this for yourself in the test drive video, I don't see the necessity whatsoever to stand and drive on one of these boats. They're just so comfortable. The hull and the hydrodynamics is such that it maintains a level attitude almost all the time. Even when the boat's turning at speed, you just don't have scenarios. I drive many boats, and I'm not a tall guy. So if the bow raises and I'm giving it some, I can't see. And that could be a problem, especially somewhere like here where there's a lot of jet skis around, there's a lot of surfers who paddle across the bar, just potential dangers. That's kind of dodgy. So, you can factor all that in, you can look ahead, make an estimation, but if you can't see, you can't see. Whereas on a riv, you can see, and it's really handy. So you don't have to worry. It puts you in a more relaxed state of mind, and if the concept of boating is to have fun and talk to your mates and just have a good time, when you're relaxed, they're relaxed, and when everyone's relaxed, we're all having fun. So that's kind of the whole purpose of this. Anyway, I'm waffling. Come in and have a look over on the starboard side. So we've got the Garmin keypad just there to control our 2 touch screens. Wonderful when you're rolling around in a seaway and you don't want to lean forward and touch the touch screen on, essentially touch the wrong thing. Got all our systems here, but the one thing I want to point out, I love having the ability to operate the windscreen wipers and windscreen wiper wash just there next to the throttle. I did do that today. This boat will throw up a little bit of spray in certain conditions, just as an inherent part of the design. So you just tap on the wash, all sorted, happy days. Throttle is in a very comfortable position. You can have a tinny just there, and you can have that in a cooler, no problems. Get straight on the joystick, and you do have the DPS, which is wonderful technology. That means this boat is a solo operator boat, because you can just press this, it won't go anywhere. We tested it in 6 knots of tide today, and 6 knots, probably more like 4. And it's held position, and then it allowed us to move to the wing station and operate the boat there, or just do whatever you want to do, set up lines, pack away fenders. It just buys you time and truly makes this a one-person operation. Engine controls on and off. There's your mule anchor windlass. Actually, the reason why we're filming at the dock today is we've blown a fuse and couldn't raise the anchor. So that's why we're at the dock, but it is what it is. All boats have issues that need to be resolved. That's life. So we've got the spotlight control just here. We've got the Volvo Penta diagnostics just here. This is the C-Zone. I go into that in a little bit more detail in the test drive video, but it makes life super easy. If you want to entertain, you just activate entertainment, and it turns on all the switches that you need to pump the tunes, watch TV, and have a party. And if you want to go cruising, you just press cruising, and then activate cruising, and it turns on all the switches you need to go cruising. See, now I've got power to my VHF. So really, it takes the thinking out of all that stuff. So if you've not had a boat before and you just want to go boating, stuff like this speeds up the process. I'm quite serious, because the less thinking you have to do about this, then the more thinking you can do about situational awareness, the boats around you, and then you can actually become a better boat driver and have a good day. So that's kind of what they're thinking about at the factory. It really is that simple. That's it. So air conditioning control is just there. We have 2 solid air conditioning outlets, and it's on right now. It's quite comfortable. And then we have another drink holder for the navigator, and the fusion control is the primary control goes just there. But we also have phone and tablet storage plus charging down here, and they will lean up in such a fashion that you can see them at the dash. And the dash has been dulled down in terms of a matte grey, and we've got this black. This is a cross-stitch black. It's not carbon like some of the other boats. It looks like a cross-woven kind of look. It's quite cool. But basically, you don't have any reflection back into your face, so that's convenient and what we want. I mentioned the sliding windows. It really is a simple, and you pull them back like so. And then we do have the AC or demisting just underneath the dash there, so that's going to be good for some climates. And above me, we have a huge opening sunroof. So once again, practically designed. It's not a glass sunroof, so you're not going to get skin cancers on your head. If you want them, just open it, then you can have your skin cancers. But I think that's great. It's practical when the light is low or the sun's low and you just want to let some air in. That's perfect. Got the speakers on the roof as well, and I'm not sure if I pointed out this centerline grab hold, which is within easy reach. We don't have a stabilizer on this boat, so you might actually use this if you're rolling around in the ocean. Even though it does have quite a low center of gravity, it's still going to be handy. So I think I've covered everything up here. Let's go downstairs and show you the accommodation. So rounded edges, good grip on the stairs, and a nice grab handle on the starboard side, so quite a safe passageway. And you're going from the timber floor onto the carpet. So again, practical in terms of people running around and going to the day head, which we'll get to in a second. But welcome to the master. So this is a nice little touch. Obviously, this owner has lent his boat for the boat show. I assume that's what the factory left him. We've got a few little nice trinkets in there. Anyway, so this is quite pleasant. We have a decent size, let me just show you, hull window. So you are going to be able to sit up in bed and look out through the hull window and enjoy the views. I think that is important. You've got decent amount of storage, beautiful high gloss timber. Everything's so well done. I love the trim, and then that's complemented with material, and then the carpet down there, super, super nice. And then if we just have a look at, you got your charging. As you can see, we've got drawers, his and hers, on either side, and then we have hanging on the port side. If you guys just have a look at that, and you've got the TV there as well. And then let's have a look on starboard. Okay, this one's empty, great. Hanging on starboard. I didn't want to open everything in case I found some of his wife's dress or something. That's be embarrassing. So let's have a look at the head. We've got nice, look at that solid towel rack. Isn't that great? Okay, so I'm just going to stand in here, give you perspective. I would refer to a lot of the Riviera head and shower units as more Americanized in terms of the way they've been set up. They do go for extra space compared to some boats. So if you are the bigger person, you're probably going to enjoy it. You've got space for all your bits and pieces. You've got some air extraction here. You've got the one shower head on this one. And then you've got a nice vanity sink. I do actually like having a window in the head, because when you are at sea, eating up some miles and you've got to go to the toilet, it's actually, I find, being able to look out at the ocean when the boat's rolling around, just a little bit more pleasant and less seasick inducing. So I find that quite pleasant. Heaps of space here. Got a couple of towel racks just here and here. That's electric operation. It's a vacuum flush toilet system. So that means fresh water, and it's just going to suck everything out. And it's not like those noisy macerator ones that you probably had on your last boat if you're coming from a day boat. It doesn't wake people up in the night time as much as a macerator, and because it's using fresh water, it's no smells, which is good. Air conditioning here, fresh water there, storage behind there, everything you need. So that's all pretty cool. And then let's go air conditioning control just here. So the day head is, because this is a 2-head boat, is also shared by the accommodation. So this is the day head access. We do have the separate shower, similar vanity, nice mirror there. It all works well, but you actually have this door here. So this is the VIP. But it feels like a master as well. It's kind of like 2 masters maybe. So you don't have to have this layout. You can have 2 singles in this cabin. We're on the port side, but look at this. Look at the views. Maybe we would use this as the master. I don't know. Jump in the comments and let me know what you would do, because this is very pleasant. We've got the opening port. That's alarmed, so you'll know if you take off with that open. We've got the beautiful timber trim. Like, I can stand up, and I've got probably 4 inches above my 5'7" height there, so it's quite pleasant. You could sit up at the bed head there. You've got the 1 bedside table on this side. You've got the charging for 240 or 110, depending on where you are in the world. And even here, that's obviously, you could hit your head there if you're not careful, but there's a step down. So if you get out of the end of the bed, they've kind of catered for that a little bit. And then we have beautiful timber lined hanging storage just there. It's quite pleasant. So yes, you still got your private loo, couple of towel hooks just there. There's a drawer underneath the bed, and you got your reading lights. That's very nice. Yeah, very, very pleasant. So stepping up, and I can get access into the sump pumps and tankage underneath the floor just there. And now this is probably the kiddies' cabin, because now we've lost the standing headroom. So now we've got crouch room, or standing if you're a kid, but we still have the beautiful big window and the opening port, AC obviously, couple of reading lights. We've got the bedside table in the middle just here, and these don't look movable. These ones are definitely fixed, because you can always tell if you've got those tracks on the floor on Rivieras, that's when they move and come together. So I think you either choose the layouts if you want to have 2 twin singles on both, or you have that bed and this one on this side. But we definitely have a little bit more going on, because we've got this storage here, we've got this hanging here full of some of our stuff, and we also have what looks like a washer dryer. So isn't that cool? You know, I say, are you looking at this from the perspective of owning a day boat, but it's also a boat that you can use and stay on for a week. But I say it's a potential replacement or alternative to a day boat, because our weather is so harsh here. It does change so regularly, and being out of the sun is important, and having wind protection extends your season. Come up in the saloon, we'll keep talking. So this is the engine hatch. We've just opened that up on the gas struts, and you've got a ladder just here. Now, pass me the camera. I'll bring you guys with me. It is a typical Riviera engine bay, incredibly professionally laid out. So, as an example, that's a sight gauge. If your fuel gauge buggers up, you can just come and check it manually just there. All of that switching there, that's to do with your C zone. So if you, all those switches that you turn on electrically, there is a manual option just here, and everything is marked in English and very easy to understand. That is your genset just there. We can see some fuel filters up on the bulkhead. That's an inspection hatch for the fuel tank on the center line. You can see that's the depth sounder just there, bilge pumps. You've got your raw water intakes just here, and these are the Volvo Penta IPS 800. So they are 600 horsepower. Let me just step back a bit so you can get a better look each. But they call them IPS 800 because it's equivalent of 800 horsepower on a shaft. And then you can see they're on a jack shaft, and the IPS unit is a little bit further aft. So that brings the center of gravity a little bit more into the middle of the boat. You can see your hydraulics I don't know what that little esky looking thing is in front of the hydraulics. So if anyone does, can you please let me know? I have no idea. And then, oh, it's a pressure washer. Oh, okay, there you go. And then I've got battery box, just here on the starboard side. You can see it's got little markings on it indicating what batteries are what. And then we've got the hot water system, refrigeration, just here on the port. There's house batteries, and that's your vacuum flush toilet system, just there. So everything is accessible. I'll just give the camera back. I'm just gonna see, I've almost got standing headroom. So good insulation, lots of white flow coat around the place. It's well lit, so it's an easy space to get around. And I do have those two hatches open, which is allowing natural light in right now, but it also really vents this space. And I notice, because I'm wearing these jackets to try and look cool for you guys, and I sweat. so if it's not well vented, you'll see me sweating. That's always the giveaway. So, oh, okay, let's close that. So yeah, that's the boat, ladies and gents. Come inside and we'll have a chat. I would like to know your thoughts. Am I crazy, or is it just, is something really happening? Are you looking at a boat like this and treating it like a stepping stone or a replacement to a big luxury day boat? And are you doing that because you recognize that something like this can last you, it's the equivalent of 2 boats, instead of getting 1 boat and then replacing it with a Riviera, and you can keep this, it'll last for a long time, so you can keep it? And are you understanding that this is so good in harsh climates, it's potentially going to extend your season? I know here in Australia, we don't have a season. We boat all year round. And so they build these boats for that style of boating, offshore and 12 months of the year usage. But one of the things I picked up on in Europe when I travel, and I go there a lot, people say to you, what are your plans for the summer? Nobody will say that to you in Australia. That's not a phrase that we hear very often, because we just go boating 12 months of the year. So are people in other hemispheres or other parts of the world now looking at a Riviera and going, oh, I can extend my season. I like boating. It makes me happy. I can extend my season, and this is something I can do. And because of the design of this 465 SUV, I reckon I can manage the thing by myself. So I don't need to rely on other people. I can still go out on the shoulder seasons. I can still go out in winter, depending on where you are in the world. So is that what you're thinking? Tell me. I'm genuinely interested to know. Next question is, can you manage a boat like this yourself and allow your guests, family, friends, whatever, the relos, to relax and enjoy themselves? So in the next video, we're going to show you. So that's coming up on the screen now or pretty soon. Click on that if you're seriously interested, and we're going to do our best to demonstrate the tech that we have available to us and just show what you can do with a boat of this size, because I do find it to be very, very manageable. So if you want to compare this boat against another one, a lot of you are reaching out to me with specific questions. I'm happy to try and answer those, and if I can't, I'll find the person who can. Do it on the Patreon. Don't DM me. I get too many DMs and I just can't manage them all. So please do that there. And if you just want to support the channel, I'd love your support. So you can also just join the Patreon for that, or just give us a like, share these videos with your mates, jump in the comments and leave a comment. The algorithm picks all that up and it will get the video out to more people. So I genuinely hope that helped. My name's Dan Jones. You've been watching Dan's Boat Life. Love you lots. See you next time.